pine trees right outside of Austin here in Central Texas, a river running right through downtown. You have new homes starting from the 200s and almost 600 acres of film studio that just broke ground. That's all in Bastrop, Texas, happening now in 2026. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly whether it's the right move for you. Hi, I'm Brandon Hawley with Hawley Homes Realty right here in Austin, Texas. If you're thinking about living in Bastrop, Texas, maybe you're relocating from out of state, maybe you've been priced out of Austin, or you're a remote worker who wants actual land in a real small town instead of another cookie cutter subdivision, this video is for you. By the end, you'll know what homes really cost here, which neighborhoods fit which budgets, and whether Bastrop fits the life you're trying to build. Here's what we're going to cover. First, the real June 2026 numbers straight from my RPR market data, including the one stat that just changed in a big way. Second, where people actually live, from brand new homes in the 200s all the way up to acreage, plus an honest look at Bastrop schools. And then third, what's coming, because a 75-acre development called Sendero and 3 separate film studio projects, Bastrop is about to change more in the next 5 years than it has in the last 20. And I'll give you the honest truth about the commute, the fire history, and the taxes. Let's start with the numbers because Bastrop just did something very interesting. As of June 2026, the median sold price in Bastrop is $410,000. That's up 12.5% in a single month and up about 5.5% over last year. And the median list price is sitting around $425,000. Now, before that scares you off, here's the context. Bastrop is still a balanced market. There's about 6.5 months of inventory, which means buyers here have more negotiating room than almost anywhere else in the Austin metro. Sellers are getting about 98.6% of their asking price, so fair offers are winning. But here's the stat that got my attention. Homes are now going pending in about 47 days. Back in the spring, that number was closer to 70. Bastrop is moving a full month faster than it was a few months ago. And real quick, I put out a new Central Texas relocation video every single week. If this is the research season of your life, hit subscribe so next week's video finds you. So what actually is Bastrop? It's east of the airport, about 30 miles from downtown Austin, and it is genuinely its own thing. This is the Lost Pines region, real pine trees inside the Austin metro, which most people don't even realize exist. The Colorado River runs right through downtown, and Main Street here has more character than everywhere else in Central Texas because this is the authentic small Texas town. Now let's talk about where you'd actually live, because Bastrop covers more price points than people expect. If you want affordable new construction, Valverde by DR Horton starts in the 200s. That is some of the least expensive new construction anywhere in the Austin area. And if you're 55 plus, Del Webb is building Lost Pines, an active adult community starting in the 300s. You have the Colony. It's the flagship master plan community with multiple builders and resort style amenities right off of 71. There's a brand new community called Silverleaf coming with Saratoga, Taylor Morrison, and Drees Homes. Not sure of the price point, but I will try to get a tour soon. And then there are the established neighborhoods like Tahitian Village, big wooded lots, winding streets, and homes with character. And if you want actual land, it's also here. I recently helped a client buy over an acre with a yurt on it, something that you cannot find in the Austin area. Now let's talk schools, because Bastrop is served by Bastrop ISD, which is its own district, smaller than the Hayes district that covers Buda and Kyle. And I want to be straight with you, because if schools are important, this information matters. Here's the good. Bastrop High School graduates 98% of its students. The average ACT is around 23, and class ratios run about 15-1. And you have the hidden gem, the Colorado River Collegiate Academy. It's a small early college high school, about 220 students, 93% reading proficiency, and students can graduate with an associate's degree alongside their high school diploma. That's 2 years of college paid for before your kid turns 19. And here's the honest part, test proficiency scores across the district, especially at the elementary level, run below what you'll see in the highest rated Austin metro districts. The outcome at the top are strong. The district is growing with the town, but if top of the state test scores are your number one reason for moving, let's talk about which specific neighborhood feeds which campus before you commit. Now here's why I keep telling relocators that Bastrop has years of growth ahead of it. Sendero is a 75-acre mixed-use development right off of Highway 71. It broke ground last year and the first pieces are opening now in 2026. You have confirmed names like Chewy's, Texas Roadhouse, Jersey Mike's, and Einstein Bros Bagels. Plus you have a 120-room hotel luxury apartment and a 90,000 square foot medical and wellness district anchored by Westlake Dermatology. For a town this size, that is a massive development. And then there's the film story. 204 Texas, a nearly 600-acre studio project from a Los Angeles production company, broke ground in March 2026 right here in Bastrop. Wildwood Studios, led by actor Zachary Levi, is also planned here, and Spiderwood Studios is already operating and expanding. Now, I'll be honest with you, nobody can promise what Hollywood will do next, but when 3 separate studio projects bet on the same small town, and Texas film incentives require them to hire locally, that tells you where the momentum is headed. So let's talk about who Bastrop is actually for, and let me make this simple for you. If you want land, trees, and a real small town, and you work remotely or hybrid, Bastrop is a great option. If your budget is under $300,000 and you want new construction, look at Valverde. And if you're 55 plus, looking at Webb's Lost Pines is a great option. If you want the full master planned experience, look at the Colony and ask about the mud. We'll talk more about that here in a second. If you're flying out of Austin a lot, here's a secret. Bastrop is actually the closest to the southern suburbs to the airport. And this is me being honest, if you're going to commute into downtown Austin every single weekday at rush hour, I tell you to also look at Buda or Kyle before you decide. And whatever you do, watch out for 3 things: the exact tax rate on the specific lot you're buying, flood zones near the river, and wildfire insurance cost in the Pines. None of those are deal breakers, just food for thought. Now let me name the 3 concerns I hear every time someone asks me about Bastrop. First, the commute. It's real. Until the Highway 71 flyover gets built, peak hours will add 20 to 30 minutes. Buckle up and put on a good podcast. If a daily downtown commute is your life, weigh that seriously. Second, the history. In 2011, the Bastrop Complex fire was the largest wildfire in Texas history at the time, and the Colorado River, which gives the town so much of its character, has flooded parts of the area before. That doesn't make Bastrop a bad place to live. It makes it a place where you do your homework. The specific neighborhood, the elevation, the defensible space, and what insurance will actually cost you before you sign anything. And then third, you have the taxes. Parts of the Colony are in a mud municipal utility district, which imposes an extra tax to pay off infrastructure. The rate varies by section, so the rule is simple. Before you fall in love with a home, ask for the exact total tax rate on the exact lot. And here's what working here actually looks like. Last year, a couple relocating from East Texas got referred to me by their own agent. They had a tight deadline. My client's wife was starting a new job. They were selling one home and buying another at the same time. And the agent on the other side of our deal was, let's just say, not very easy to work with. We stayed steady, we closed on schedule, and they landed a new construction in Tahitian Village in the Pines. Afterwards, they wrote that first contact through closing the experience was first class. That's the standard here. No pressure, just steady. I understand now may not be the right time, and I never want to be pushy. Just know that I am here if you have questions, would like to start planning, or need anything at all. My number, my calendar, and 2 ways to search homes are right down in the description, along with my free Bastrop relocation guide. Then next week, I'm breaking down what your money actually buys when you move from New York to Austin. If that's you or someone you love, keep an eye out and see you next week. Thank you again so much. My name is Brandon Hawley with Hawley Homes Realty.